Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. So, my super pretty blue box is here, and I thought maybe we should play with it a little bit. So, everybody, if you're not aware or you don't know about Craft with Heart, it's the subscription program from Close to My Heart. And so there's a scrapbooking version and there's a card version. So this is the card version for January to April. And then there's scrapbooking pages. So I posted a photo earlier and I pulled out a few of the cards and I thought, why don't we have some fun and just alter them a little bit? So, like I said in my post before, they're super beautiful just the way they are. You could totally give them that way. But I thought I would just remind you that just because that's the way they come in the box, you don't have to actually do them that way. So I'm just going to share this over into my classroom and then I'm going to get started. So I did pull out two different cards and I thought, so I pulled out some distress oxides that kind of match. And then I also pulled out some shimmer brushes. And so that's kind of what I think I'm going to play with today. Okay, so just let me minimize that screen. I'm going to put you down on my desk. Okay, 1 second here. I just need to swap my cameras. Fun. And there we go. So now you are down on my desk and I'll show you. So this is the little insert that comes with the Craft with Heart. Like I said, there's tons of ones in here that I really love. I will say that the sentiments for Craft with Heart cards are awesome. So it kind of gives you a variety, and obviously you can use the stamp sets over and over and over again. So this one that's in the January to April, right? There's like obviously a little bit of a love theme to it because February is Valentine's Day. But like, so there's birthday, love you more, sending love and hugs. It's your day. So happy you're here. Congrats. Let's party. You and me. Happy birthday. Thank you. A note of thanks. Thank you. Woof woof. Hooray. Because there's a couple of dog themed cards in here, which are really cute. And then you are in my thoughts. This one too, this woof woof hooray thing, sentiment would work really great with some images from the new Cricut cartridge, but that's off topic. So I pulled out this one, which is card number 7. And which other one did I pull out here? This one, which is card number 10. So I'm going to just have a little bit of fun with them, like I said, and just zhuzh them up a little bit. Okay, so this is the first one. So they are pre-printed bases, right? So it's nice, right? Because they've got this really pretty front and back decorative piece. If you wanted, you could totally cut this in half and get a second card out of this one by putting it on like a white daisy base, right? So, but this is what I'm going to try here. So I'm all-purpose mat down, and I do have my Versamat down underneath, upside down with my foam up, just so that I have a little bit of cushion. I know you guys can't see that, but that's okay. And then, so for this one, I grabbed Tattered Rose Distress Oxides, and then for the other one, I've got Spiced Marmalade. So my thought is I'm just going to put a little bit of Distress Oxides in the background, and then I'm going to splatter it a little bit with my shimmer brush. So for this one, I have my shortbread shimmer brush because these are the hearts for this card. So here we go. I'll just put some Distress Oxide into the back. So I'm just going to use my mini blending tool. I'm just going to start it over there so that I know that it's actually got ink on it. And I'm going with a light hand here, but this is quite a light color. So you've got some like variety, right? So I know that camera doesn't really pick up this very well, but I'm just going to, like I said, I just wanted to kind of add a little bit to the background. I didn't want it super dramatic with this one. Hey, Wendy. So I know this is not my regular time for being on, but you all know how much I love album retreat. So I am virtually attending album retreat. So that is later on in the day. So I thought I would come on here and do a live before that. Okay, so I am good with that. So now I'm just going to splatter a little bit. Actually, first, maybe I'll just do a little bit of water. So I just have one of our spray pens that has water in it. They're always just sitting with water on my desk. And I'm just going to drop some droplets on here. I thought it would just be fun to add this to the background just to break it up a little bit versus the stark white there. So, and then I am just going to take my paper towel . There we go. And now I'm just gonna splatter a little bit of my shortbread shimmer brush on here. So this, I don't know if people have noticed, but the new shimmer brushes now have the name of the color on the lid, which is super handy because I used to actually add that myself with either cutting the label or my little label maker. I have done both things. So I just shook it up to get the glitter going. I'm just going to drop a little bit on my block here. Okay, and then I'm just going to tap this down onto my background too. Like I said, I'm just trying to add a little bit of character or personality to them. Like I said, just because that's the way they come, or you have a picture to do them that way, you don't have to leave it that way. Okay, so I'm just going to put the lid on that before I have an accident, because you guys all know I will. Okay, and now I think I'm going to stamp the sentiment on here, and this one is going to say, you and me. And actually, I need to grab ink. So I'm just throwing this down on my mat, and I'm going to pick it up with my block, and I've not used this, so we will just rub it on my skin. I'm just going to grab my ink pad. And I have just a scrap piece of white daisy. And I am just going to stamp it one time to make sure that we're all good. So that is super cute. I love the little script writing there. Okay, so I'm going to add it down here in the same spot they have it, but I am going to actually move that out of my way. And that, I'm just gonna wipe the Distress Oxide that I have here. And then I'm actually gonna open my card up to make it a little bit easier to stamp. And just gonna go about there. Just give it a second. There we go. So that's super pretty. So now, I'm just gonna use my stamp chamois here. Cover my ink back up. Okay, so now we have our hearts. So I'm just going to punch them out. So they punch out nice and easy. So like I said, you could make this super quick project if you want, or you can totally just jazz it up. It's totally up to you. So this one goes over here. This one goes over here. You could also just use regular ink if you don't have Distress Oxides. You can use our inks just with a sponge or a sponge dauber. Okay, so now I am actually going to move this stuff out of my way for a second until we do the next card. Because that's like my messy mat. So I'm just going to lay them out. So I know I want this big one in the middle. And even just making subtle changes, right? It just adds a little bit of personality to the cards. Okay, and then that one goes over here. One of the shortbread hearts over here. The papaya heart over here. Mulberry goes here. Then there is like a peach and a shortbread. So I am going to adhere my outer two flat and then probably these next two flat, and then I'm going to do some thin and some thick foam tape because we've got both, so we might as well. So here's some thin foam tape, and then hopefully I have enough thick left here. So, and then some adhesive. So I'm just going to start with my two outer ones, keeping in mind where my middle, I want my middle one to end up. Sorry guys, the projection of my voice is still a little bit rough. So, no, I think I want that a little bit higher. So it is not pushed down crazy hard yet. So I'm just gonna move it up. So I'm gonna use the little scallops on the edge, right, to line everything up to the middle. So I'm using those two middle scallops to kind of gauge, so I can see right here, right, I'm about that far in and sitting with my two mini scallops there. You could also distress the outside edges of these hearts. That would be a nice little detail to add to them also, just with even just shortbread would look nice. So now, same thing, just kind of still lining them up to the middle. So now this pretty peach striped one, just like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna add my 3D foam tape to the back of this one. And then I'll add some thin to the 2 outer ones. I'll add the thin ones down first. So just like this. And then I'll just sandwich my thick one right over the middle. So just like that. So these are an awesome, quick way, like I said, to create a nice little stash of cards. And you could totally change this into a thank you card, a birthday card. And like I said, I love the sentiments with all of these Craft with Hearts. Also, if you do the year subscription, right, there's a bonus stamp set for you. There's a different one for the card making and a different one for the scrapbooking. Okay. There we go. So super pretty, just a little bit of a subtle change, right? But it's enough to make it stand out a little bit more. And it's a super cute card. And two, also the other thing with Craft with Heart is they're a great jumping off point if you struggle with card making or even scrapbooking. It's a great way to start and almost use it as a template or like I said, a jumping off point to give you somewhere to go next, right? Somewhere to try a little technique, but you kind of already have a pattern for it, right? Okay, so then this one is card number 10 right here. Oh, you know what I was going to do? I'm going to add some clear sparkles to the card because there's no embellishments. I should not say that. Some of them have embellishments. Some of the Craft with Hearts come with embellishments. Some don't. So this one didn't have an embellishment, so I'm going to add an embellishment to it, right? Also a really great way to use up your stash. Lots of people have 1s and 2s of things left. This is kind of the perfect way to use those things up. Okay, so I'm just going to add a few clear sparkles. Just like that. Okay. Could add more if you wanted. Okay, so then now that I have my sparkles out, I'll do card number 10. So, and you get 2 of each card. So if you play and you don't like one, you could do something different with the other one, right? So I am going to later just assemble these the way they are in the directions, and then I'm going to take a picture of the 2 side by side. So this one is kind of like a little bit of layered heart situation going on. So I'm just going to punch out the hearts and lay them in order that they have them. I'm going to leave that exactly the same. So there's the nectarine one. There's a wildberry one. A ballerina or peach. I think this is probably peach. With a wildberry that's going to go over top. Right? And then there's this charcoal one. A wild berry with a peach for on top. And then a ballerina with the charcoal on top. This is just garbage now. Okay, so for this one, I grabbed some spiced marmalade. And I have the new Wildberry Shimmer Brush, which we're going to open in a second. I'm just going to put down my all-purpose mat so I get less messy. And again, same thing. I just wanted to add just a little bit of texture to the background, just to jazz it up a little bit. Okay, so spiced marmalade, same thing, right? The back is already printed, so all you have to do is fold it. But if you wanted to turn this into an extra card, you totally could, right? Add it to a card front, add a white panel with the stitching on it, cut out some hearts, and you have then 4 cards instead of just 2. So spiced marmalade, I'll just rub it down on my surface. So this one has a lot more pigment in it, so you guys will be able to see the color right away. So I'm just kind of keeping it in the middle, blending it up. You could add as much or as little color as you would like. Okay. So I'm going to stop there, set that aside. Okay, so now I have my Wild Berry Shimmer Brush. Okay, so the pigmented shimmer brushes, remember, have lots of pigment in them, right? So be careful with them. So we're just going to open it and like prime it. So obviously it comes in a package, so you can tell this one's not open because it still has its little yellow safety. So it works like the old fountain pens, right? So once you punch through this, then the pigment and the glitter that's in there, the shimmer, is going to start to flow. So by taking the ring off, when you screw it on, you're basically now pushing the top part through that bottom part to break the seal that's on the top. Okay, so now the brush is stiff because this one's never been used before. I'm just shaking it up, and I'm just going to grab a block because it makes it super easy to clean up after. But so it says right here, push. So I'm just pushing to get the liquid from the inside flowing. And you can see it starts to come down. And now I have Wild Berry Shimmer. Okay, so we're going to do some splatter, but I don't want this all over my card. I just kind of want it in the middle. So I'm just going to rip up my paper towel really quickly, just to kind of control it a little bit. You could mask it off if you want, but like I said, I'm just working on the fly. Okay, so I have enough splatter here that I am happy with it. So now I'm going to just add it to my background. Okay, so the other thing I just wanted to remind you, we'll just give this a second to dry, is I think that lots of times when people have a hard time with the pigmented colors, it's because when they're pulling the lid off, you slightly unscrew it. So when I pull a lid off that's got like a lot of color in it like this, for starters, I'm super careful about trying not to lift it all the way off too quickly and making sure that it's screwed all the way into the barrel. Because if you have a tendency to kind of twist this while you're pulling, you're going to loosen this part down here and you get like the ink and glitter in there. And then that's when it gets super messy. So I also do store them this way with the color on the top. And then I am careful when I'm opening them. And I do always have something to wipe the color off if I have like an overflowing accident, which totally happens. Okay, so now you can see I've got the Distress Oxide in the background with a little bit of Wildberry shimmer brush. I'm just going to wipe off my block quickly so I have less mess later. Just going to move my paper towel to the side, pull this out of the way. Oops. Oh, all my hearts are sticking to the back of the rubber side of the mat. Okay, I think I got them all. Okay, so here we go. So like I said, I just kind of wanted to jazz it up just a little bit. So let's pick a sentiment for the bottom here. So I'm actually going to keep this one the same. Love you more. It never hurts to have love cards to give. So I'll put this one back. Okay, same thing. I've not used this one yet. So there are hearts. I am going to, like, this is actually super pretty. I don't know how much you can see, but the Wildberry Sparkle, I have not used it yet, so that is fun. Okay, and then the box does come with the little ink. I'm just using my normal ink. I give the little ones to my niece to do her card making with. But if you are just beginning to stamp, they are just little tiny blocks with the black ink in them. So I'm just giving it a second. There we go. And I'll just wipe this off. Okay. So now I can just fold my card here. And again, because I can, I'm going to pop some of these up with 3D foam tape, but I'm just going to kind of lay them in place so I can make sure they all fit. I don't have to move anything up or down. Okay, so that actually looks pretty good. So now I will just add my adhesive. Here's my second layer. So I'm going to put those on some foam tape and my glitter gems. Okay. So now I'm just going to add my adhesive. So you could even, maybe we will pop some of these up with thin 3D foam tape. So I'm going to pop this one up and then that one up and then the little ones. So the January to April kits are all set to ship if anybody is interested. Okay, so this one and that one I'm going to pop up with foam tape. There we go. So I like to cut my foam tape, but you can totally rip it. It does rip. It's a little staticky at this time of year. So there we go. Okay, so I have my first layer down, and then I'm just going to, I'll get my thinner. So foam tape also comes in two widths, right? So this is the thicker and this is the thinner. The two come together in the same package. So let's do the wild berry one. Goes on top of the ballerina. I should maybe have grabbed dots for this. It would be a little bit faster. So you can also just get the dots. They would fit actually very nicely. They're great for card making. Okay, and then this ballerina one goes at the top. So who has a Craft with Heart subscription? And do you guys have the card one or the scrapbooking one? Okay, and here's the, I don't think it's Harbor. I think it is like charcoal, because it doesn't have any kind of like blue in it. I would say it's charcoal. So here's the last one. Okay, so see how pretty that turned out, just with like I said, just a few little alterations. Okay, but I am going to also add some sparkles on here. I wanted to kind of pick one embellishment that I could use for kind of both cards. So clear sparkles are always a good one. You could color them if you wanted differently also, but I thought that the clear part kind of just worked really well with the two cards. So that's what I've got for you guys today. So don't forget, just because Craft with Heart comes in a box that's all ready to go and easy to assemble, does not mean that you can't have fun and alter them, right? So here, like I said, is a look at the January to April brochure. So there are 2 of each cards. Here's that little puppy card that I was talking about. So there are a total of 22 cards because you get 2 of 11 designs. So that's what I've got for you guys today, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.